Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh.
Just stiff old guys.
Yeah, we've been complaining in the car like Abe Simpson, the two of us.
It happens as you get older. Like the last couple of years, I've been feeling a lot like that. You're just achy a lot, and it's just not getting away from it. And that you don't realise how lucky you are in your 20s to not have any of it. But it does make you feel like an old guy. How it's no, you.
Well, he was at Physio.
Steve's just been at the physio.
Aye.
Yeah, wee hammies.
My wee
Yeah, if
hammies.
you could just speak into the top
Can you
of the mic.
speak at the
that'd be
top of the
great.
mic? I know this is your first ever podcast episode.
But wasn't it fucking
It's
top?
too far away, isn't it?
This picks up traffic outside.
It doesn't.
Well, it
It
should.
actually is the opposite of that.
Well.
They're very light.
I'm speaking into it. Alright.
Tell the people how your wee hammies gubbed.
I've got a wee sore hamstring. Actually happened in, I think in Germany.
Right.
Cast your minds back.
If
That was
you,
almost a year
you
ago.
remember that Steve came on as a sub in the Switzerland game.
Changed everything.
That was actually when we were at our best, Steve. When,
It might have been when I injured it, actually. I was dancing on a wee crate
that was
for
a
ages.
crazy hazy time.
Yeah.
Was that the game, the second game when we were in the beer garden thing?
Absolutely pissed.
Fan zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got quite a few beers bought for us.
That
from
guy who done that,
listeners.
by the way, it's his 30th birthday, I believe, and someone
Happy
on
birthday.
YouTube asked for us to give him a shout out, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
My man.
He's
He
a
was
legend.
responsible for the worst hangover I ever had.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that was. We probably already spoke about that, but I
Aye.
nearly waited in that woman's car.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
She
she
got
gave
go
us a
with
wee
Greek
lift.
lady.
Yeah.
What a legend.
She was a
was.
goddess, though. She was
Yeah.
heaven sent, dropped us off at the.
If only she'd have given you a hamstring that rubbed down. You'd been alright.
So, what did you do? Did you jump off something when you were steaming?
I don't remember what happened. It was just I remember it being sore. I remember when I was leaving, I was limping quite a bit, and then I thought. But so I went to a physio, so I couldn't go any runs after Germany. So it's been causing me
He
some
gave
issues.
it like 11 months, to be fair.
I was going to
Yeah.
say it seems like it's quite a long time you've left it.
I can't be
Imagine a
arsed.
footballer was out for 11 months for your club because he couldn't be asked.
I know. Well, I just read today Jota's going to be out for 69 months for Celtic, and I'm like, fucking hell, man. Like, maybe if he just goes and sees a physio, he'll be back for next week.
Aye, maybe. But I just couldn't be. It's one of these things that you put it off and off. I know you've been to a physio a few times.
I've been.
How long did you put that off for?
It's not. It's more like. Do you know what's bad? Because I'm due to go again next week. I've been going once every month or so, but see, since the last time I was there, I have not done a single thing that they told me to do,
Aye.
and I need to keep putting it back. So that
What's
I can-
this for?
for my shoulder? It's like this recurring thing that I've had for years. It kind of crept back up again, but it's just my shoulder kind of. It doesn't quite pop out, but it's just dead unstable, and so I need to stabilise everything around it so that it doesn't fuck up. Because if I put it like above my head, it'll wobble and
Do you
shit.
do any shoulder press at the gym?
But that's why I avoid them now, because
Right.
until I do. I actually, if I do it, I'll need to use the machine or something that can keep it steady. Because it's just dead on. Because that's what was happening. I was going to my PT, and I would day one be like the weights above the, and my arm just starts shaking, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "He's not qualified to deal with that shit." So I had to
You
go
get
to.
you back on those 1 kilogram dumbbells you were doing.
Aye, well, that is what I have to do. I have to do like loads of wee exercise, but see, cause it's pure, it's just shitey wee light weights you need, and you just not meant to do it every night, and it feels like you're not doing anything. It's so hard to force yourself to do. So for a while, I actually was putting a wee towel, because you need to put a wee towel under your arm. The thing I'm doing, and I was putting that like on my bed, so that before I get into bed at night, I'd remember to do it.
We
And
remind you.
I just stopped doing it.
Take that into the shower.
But no, it's annoying. But that my thing's more no, it's not putting off the appointments. It's that I'm not doing the stuff in between the appointments to get me improving.
Yeah, I fear that I'm going to do the exact same as that because I've
Oh,
got one
that's
booked
boring,
in.
isn't
Yeah, it's rubbish.
But you
I was
said-
taught not to stretch as well.
I-
Stretch is
no,
pathetic.
I
Yeah,
know, but
for
there's
gimps.
different views on stretching, and some people say just if you do like a hang or something like that, it's enough. But then other people really swear by the kind of this yoga positions.
No, I think it's obvious that you should stretch. I'm just saying.
All right. Why would you mean you were taught to? Do you just mean like
Just like
In
just listen to that.
society.
Yeah, you just
It-
don't stretch.
it's toxic masculinity?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stretching's for.
it is.
for wee idiots.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you said you get acupuncture.
Aye, that was a surprise. I just thought he was gonna maybe give it a little massage or something, and then he was like, "I'm
But you
gonna."
were fucking gutted when he got the needles out.
Well, aye, so he said, "I'm gonna shoot a laser into you, and then I'm gonna give you some acupuncture."
Right, well, talk me through the laser.
Well, I don't know. I can't see
Is
back
this like
there.
a backstreet physio?
What do you mean a laser?
Well, I don't know.
What
He just said, "Oh, I've got
What
a
did
laser."
it look like? Because I'm
Well, I couldn't
picturing
see it, but he's
James
behind
Bond,
me.
like Blofeld or something.
He's behind me. I couldn't hear it. All I could hear it, but I couldn't
Were you
see
strapped like that, and the
This
laser
isn't-
comes up to to your bullocks?
This is the day you die, Mr. Buchanan.
it. And if I could escape, then my hamstring was fixed. So that's how
So,
you do it.
did he not explain to you what the laser was, though? Because if somebody says to me, I'm going to put a laser on you, I'm like,
It
my
says
first
it was
question would
to
be like, what?
break up some of the fibers in your leg
Right.
to sort of loosen them up, and then the acupuncture. He said we want to aggravate the injury.
Is he charging for every part of this?
I'm going to say right now,
Literally.
this guy sounds like a con man to me.
Yeah,
No,
like a witch
Re-
doctor.
reputable physiotherapist. He had a little certificate on his wall, so
Right,
you know
alright,
it's true. He put needles into me, 3 needles, acupuncture, and then
Right, because in my head, I'm
I'm
picturing
picturing
you.
hundreds of needles.
Yeah, I'm
Nah.
picturing you lying on a bed of needles.
Yeah, torture
No.
method.
no,
and then running over hot coals.
I'm lying on my stomach. He puts 3 needles into me and he says, "Keep them in for 15 minutes. I'm gonna go and have a coffee."
Did he actually say that?
He didn't say a coffee, but he said, "I'm gonna go out there. I'll come back in 15 minutes. Relax." Annoyingly, I'd put my phone in the chair over there, and the whole time I was just fucking choking to go and
Hard
get
to
my phone.
imagine a least relaxing
Thing to do.
situation.
Yeah, bright room, no music, just
Your
staring
own
at a floor.
thoughts.
Well, that's where you've got to, a bit of mindfulness comes in. You've got to.
Well, I almost fell asleep. It was quite nice for a while, and then I just kept thinking I just want to look at my phone. I was just getting frustrated.
They probably done that on purpose, though, because you probably I would imagine that he doesn't count looking at your phone as relaxing.
Well, I think it was just, I don't know if I had to relax. It just wanted these needles to be in me for 15 minutes. So I could have looked at a phone, I think.
And did you feel better after it?
Well, he said this isn't the point that you feel better. This is to loosen up the muscles, and then you do these exercises. We get it back to a stage where they're better.
Right.
Because he says what seems to have happened is I've got a stiff back. I've been going runs, and my back isn't letting my hamstring move, so that's like broke some of the hamstring.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. That's what he's saying. It's all connected. So that's fucked that. And then it's healed up, but my back has not
Right.
healed up. So my hamstring is still fucked, but it's healed in a fucked position.
Right, I see.
Oh,
I'm
you're all
paraphrasing.
wonky now.
I'm all wonky, so I need to loosen up my back. I need to loosen up my buttons, baby.
Do you need to go to someone else for the back?
No, he's the same guy. He's giving me
Right,
some
yeah.
stretches.
And then he'll be
he's
telling
a-
you your shoulders
He's
fucked.
he's a back
It's
sacking
like a
back
back-
physio.
He does next back pussies and cracks.
Lovely guy. And he said that I had to, I'd wear a wee pair of shorts because I thought that would be easy access
Yeah.
for him. And he said, take off your shorts. So I could have wore trousers.
Yeah, well, it's been a nice day.
Pulled up my wee pants.
The shorts is a good move for the physio because I've been in that position before and forgot shorts, and then you just need to go down to your boxers and.
But I was in my boxers anyway.
Well, there you go. It's a shoulder injury. Take off your pants.
So hopefully we'll see over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
He says, do these stretches once a day.
What is it? Just stretches, is it?
Stretches, and he said, don't run. I said, don't worry, I ain't gonna.
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
Way ahead of
Doctor's
you.
orders.
I'm going to be looking at your Strava and I better not see any marathons on there.
But I can still go to the gym, he said.
Yeah, just need leg. We need to be careful with your legs.
I don't know, because I think that's been helping. I've been doing some leg days recently, and I went a run on Wednesday, and it wasn't as bad as what it had been. So I think it's helping.
Aye. Well, I think it's the more you can beef up the muscles, I think the
Aye.
better it helps. Because I don't know, I've no jogged in ages, but I do think it's a very injury prone thing to do. Isn't it? You can,
Especially in your 30s.
Oh, exactly. As
when
we're
you're
saying,
getting old.
Well, I played football on Wednesday night and every part of my body hurts.
Absolutely.
crazy.
Like, fuck.
Oh,
Did you score any cool goals?
Scored a couple of cool goals, if you don't mind me saying.
Nice.
where were you playing?
Southside goals.
Nice.
A standard game.
I do miss playing.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah, I try and play when I can. But yeah, man, the recovery is crazy now.
Aye.
Like for like a week, I'm just fucked.
But when's the last time you'd played before that?
Like a few weeks. I don't play enough is the thing.
Aye,
If I played every week, you'd probably get
you're
used
not
to it.
getting
but,
match fit.
I'm always gigging and stuff.
Do you know what? It just feels like after a game of football, it does feel as though somebody has literally been kicking your legs. Like it's a weird, it's a feeling you don't get like even like jogging or whatever. It's like that's pure. I don't know. It's something about because you're moving about so much in different directions and all that kind of
You know how
shit.
Grado walks to the ring and he like shakes his hands. Like, that's how I've been having to walk around the house to like propel myself.
That's
'cause
funny.
My arms are the bits that are
But
alright.
it's all good for you all at the end of the day because you do get a wee bit of perverse satisfaction when you've really hurt yourself for exercise because you go, well, I've earned it. I must have been doing
Done
something
something.
good.
Done something right. Yeah. I've been doing RDLs.
Romanian deadlifts.
Correct.
Correct.
This guy knows
Yeah.
what he's talking
Correctamundo.
about. And I think I fucked my back from that.
Yeah, we're always my back is fucked as well. Also
Yeah,
from
my lower
deadlifts.
back was fucked for ages and I didn't squat or deadlift for a while. But then Romanian ones are the ones that I think are safer for me
Really?
somehow.
What? Why is it like mad? Soviet. I don't know. If it's Soviet.
But
But
just get that bit. It's like, you don't get in for any happy countries.
because there's like Bulgarian split squats.
Yeah. But then what's it that so a Romanian deadlift versus so a Romanian deadlift is more like
You don't
you're
go
keeping
all
it
the way
close.
down to
Push
the
your
ground
arse out.
Aye, push your arse out, and then a normal deadlift would just be.
from a stop and start at the bottom.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
In Romania, they don't like touching the flare.
Yeah, the floors are manky over there.
Yeah. I
A lot of complaints.
Aye,
And
is that
from
is
from
it
this
your back
couch.
that's
My back's
that's
really
aching you?
sore. Yeah,
Yeah.
not good, man.
I know.
It's depressing.
God,
isn't
we
it?
are turning into old guys.
My
I know.
dad-
I know.
Aye.
My dad moaned about his back every fucking day
Today,
growing up, and now
and now you not understand.
2 hip replacements. That's coming down the pipe.
I think part of the reason why it is because my bed's too short for me. I don't know if there's anyone out there listening who has had a similar thing, but
Cut your
I thought you were
My
going to say
feet-
who's got an extra bit of bed they can give
I,
you.
but my feet just go
Hang
like,
over the
they hang
edge.
over it a bit. But see when I'm in a hotel or something, usually I don't think it happens. I think they're, like the beds are long enough. I've got what they call a queen size bed, right, which sounds a bit emasculating, if you don't mind me saying. But but see if you get a bigger bed, I don't think they're normally that bigger lengthwise.
Yeah,
So-
you need to
Yeah,
go
the width,
super
innit?
king.
You need to get like one of these like tall and mighty fucking ones.
A Giacomo bed.
But I do
get a
think
shack
that-
bed.
yeah.
He got a bed specially made.
well, exactly.
We've had this
Yeah,
conversation.
we've had this conversation.
Bizarrely.
I don't know if we have on the pod. Did
Ah,
we?
we have it.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
saw
don't
they did
forget
that.
the
Big
shack bed.
Superman
That's
ends
what
in
they
his
talked. Yeah, we talked about having
Shack pad.
the shoot into it and all that kind of stuff.
They shoot downstairs.
Yes,
My dream house.
but I do wonder if that's a common thing that other people have had a problem with, like because I don't know. I just feel like I always see when I'm on the road. Sometimes when I'm staying in hotels and all that, I'm finding that I come back, I sleep in my bed one night, and I've got a sore back again. And I think it must be the bed, but I don't really want to buy a new one because I'm like I'm probably going to move. Maybe I could take it with me.
Take it with you.
Aye.
You need to
can
take
take
that
it
with
with
you.
I guess if I move it, I'm just like I don't want to, commit to too much new stuff. But probably should get a bed, although they're expensive, aren't they? A bed.
They are, but I think you'll reap the rewards.
I know. Well, it's one of the things where you're
That's
sleeping
what
most
people
of the
say.
time.
It's worth the money.
You spend most of your time sleeping, so I
Yeah.
know. But it would probably improve my life a wee bit. But there you go. Anyway, there's our ailments and all that. Old
Yeah.
as we get
Old
old guys.
Old guy.
Old guy podcast.
Now-
Now, I remember, like, because you were saying that about your dad just complaining about his back, and I remember my dad had to go to the physio and just seeing him doing stretches every morning, and I just started pissing myself laughing at him. I was like 14, and he just fucking slammed the door, and now I'm in that position. I'm just an old bastard.
Because you don't feel you feel
For the
very,
listeners, the example Steve gave was just moving his head to the side.
Yeah, well, that's why it was so funny, because he was just doing this sitting in his bed for like 5 minutes, and I was just laughing at him.
then the old one where you get the
Yeah, that.
use the arm. The But you do feel quite vulnerable, I feel, when you're doing physio exercises, because often it looks shite.
It looks pathetic.
It's embarrassing. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
We do actual physical pain to ourselves rather than be embarrassed by doing a bit of stretching. It's pathetic.
Exactly. And so to have a wee kid just laugh at you would be fucking. You'd be raging. But yeah, listen, it's not just physical pain that we suffer. As we will know,
mental health.
as a men's mental health podcast.
Yeah.
We need to ask
And
you
physical health increasingly.
Yes, we need to ask you something of a. What would you say?
An apology?
No,
I
a correction.
A correction. We did not know, obviously, because we didn't look it up. Because we don't look anything up
Nah.
unless sometimes I do in the laptop. But
That's
Pure misinformation.
we didn't know that
gimps.
boys. What is it? Boys get sad too. It's a charity for a very worthy cause, raising awareness about how many people commit suicide on a weekly basis, all that kind of stuff. So fair enough.
Yeah,
we
obviously
didn't
we're
know.
not having a go at that.
Yeah,
I thought they were like Adidas.
Yeah, I
I
thought
thought
it
it just
was-
made clothes.
Yeah, and probably we could have guessed that, but listen, we just need to say shit on this podcast sometimes, and that's
We
something
need to fill time.
that was something I've been talking about. But I would say, yeah, we want to know. You had a very funny. You said something very funny when we were chatting about this in the group chat. What was it about the?
Next, I'll be finding out Palm Angels is for prostate cancer. Or something the t-shirts I've been slagging off.
Weirdly, when I went into the shop earlier on, I seen someone who had looked very similar to the Boys Get Sad 2 thing, but it was a lassie wearing a jumper that on the back of it said, "He's an ex for a reason." But I'm not going to take the piss out of that because that's probably a fucking domestic abuse charity or some shit. But anyway, look, sorry if you were like, because we just deleted the clip because we didn't need the hassle.
Did anyone comment on it?
Well, there's a few comments.
Was there?
I knew.
Is it a famous thing? Was I supposed to know that?
I don't know. I think is it a Scottish thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, we could look this up. We're making the exact same mistake we did before. I'm not saying more about it, but
It's like the Greg Wallace thing all
Yeah.
over again.
I don't think that we're totally incorrect. But but like it's all for a good cause, so you can't slag
I
it.
support the cause.
The classic men's mental health excuse.
And
basically.
we do a lot for men's mental health.
Listen,
Here
we've done 150 whatever episodes now of fighting the cause for it, and it's not all that.
It's not all that. There's some tears.
We
You
should
get-
do ones. We should get t-shirts that say
Boys get
laugh
bad.
too.
Boys get bad backs too.
But yeah, anyway, sorry, no harm.
How is your mental health? All right.
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
In the
Moving
scheme
on.
of things, better than my back.
If only there was a physio. Oh no, it was a therapist. That's right. A therapist.
Yeah,
a
take the
physio.
physio away.
Yeah.
Just-
I'm going to put a few wee acupuncture needles in your head. Just wait 15 minutes.
relieve some.
You did get that as almost like a wee bit of mindfulness you got in that session just by leaving you alone with your phone for.
I just
last time you done
staring
that?
at the floor.
What were
well,
you thinking about when you were? saying that?
I was, don't know. I was thinking about if this was a book, it'd be quite a boring, like I was thinking if
If
could,
what was it?
like if my experience was a book.
If you had to write a
If
memoir.
I
your
had to-
life was a book.
No, like if I was to write a book and I was like, oh, and the guy goes into a physiotherapist and he's just staring at a floor for 15 minutes, it would be just quite a shite book.
Yeah.
Was that the first thought you had?
Well, I was counting the floor had speckled grey wee splodges on it, so I was like, oh, I guess I could count these for a bit, and then I was like, this would be such a boring book.
Why would it be a book?
Well, I was. You asked me what I was
Do you
thinking.
know what? I kind of know what you mean, and I probably had some of it. It's
It'd be a shite
crazy-
film as well.
I know.
It'd be a pish poem.
I think you would maybe edit. That's when an editor comes in.
Aye, but I was thinking, like, I was like going, if I was to write a book and this was the opening scene, and then I was like, right, and I was like, oh, well, this would be a shite opening scene, wouldn't this would be pish.
Interior day physiotherapist. Nothing happens for 15 minutes. We see Steve counting the tiles on the floor.
Steve 30s in pants.
Just a shot of the shorts on the fucking chair.
You could do a kind of American Psycho parody where it's like, instead of all the exercises he does, every day I wake up and do 3 hamstring
I
fucking
am
stretches.
simply not there.
Yeah.
Wow, man. That is funny.
That's
I
funny.
know what you mean, but isn't that funny though that it's like because I feel I think I maybe even said this in the pod before, but I feel that like the big things smartphones have completely eradicated
Yeah,
from our
boredom.
lives is just waiting and just having to just sit there and do nothing. And there was loads of that
Yeah.
back.
Making up wee games to play for yourself.
You would just loads of
Yeah.
you would just need to sit about if you like before smartphones. If you were waiting on anything, you would just need to sit there a lot with your thoughts. Obviously, unless it was a newspaper or magazines or whatever that you'd have in waiting rooms and whatnot. But it was just a lot of that. And but the thing is, then you would have your thoughts, and that's where sometimes you get ideas from. Whereas now we've
Well-
completely eradicated any.
I think that's where it stemmed from. I was like, oh, well, I can just come up with some ideas because I'm not looking at my phone. And
Maybe I'll write a book. This would be a shit book.
but that's what I was like. Oh, the opening scene, someone staring into these splodges, and then they're kind of zoned out. And then I was like, well, that would just be boring. That's rubbish.
Yeah.
So,
Not every idea needs to be for a book, doesn't
and
it?
listen, I didn't think I would have to pitch this idea to you guys. To be fair, I'd already
spiced
put
it
it
up
in
a
the
little,
bin.
didn't
Yeah, exactly.
Stephen meeting with the BBC right after he's been to the physio.
What ideas you got for us?
Well, it's a show about nothing.
Seinfeld's already done it.
But they had a whole episode where it was a guy just staring at the floor.
Counting the splodges.
But there was, what did you say just before that? Sorry.
About you everything. There's no you
I
can
would-
eradicate
Waiting
waiting.
So the blackouts in like Portugal and that, or like
Spain.
the power loss thing.
yeah.
'Cause I'd seen this like it's real, and it was like hours after the power outage, and it's like these videos of people singing together, and then it was like number one, like when people are like out in public without anxiety anymore. I was like, it's like 4 hours after a power
cured
outage.
anxiety.
There's you've not cured anxiety. What the fuck are you talking about? But it was kind of interesting. People were
Everyone's
singing.
ADHD is cured.
Because everyone had to read a book for 4 hours.
No, but like
But
I
it would
do
be quite crazy if that
a
happened.
blackout. Would you think what would be the first thing you would do in a blackout?
Write a
Put-
book.
put
Yeah,
a
straight
candle
away.
on?
To my quill.
But you don't realise how much you're reliant on all this stuff that we take for granted all the time until you don't have it, and it's like anyone. It was like we were saying the other week about the boiler fucking up. As soon as anything like that fucks up, you just instantly go like, my life was perfect until this thing fucked up. But I don't know, what would you do in that? We need electricity because there's so many things you go, I would just do this, and you go, oh no, you couldn't.
Yeah.
Because even imagine see if you hadn't charged your phone for a bit. Your phone runs out of battery, phone's gone. Maybe same with the laptop. And then you're and then that's it.
And even you could read, but then it say like
Until it gets
9
dark.
o'clock, then that's your fucked. You need to go to sleep.
And you have
Unless you got a torch.
candlelight.
Candlelight, of course.
That's what people used to do back in the
like
day.
a Victorian.
Read by candlelight.
Yeah, I mean, you could. You'd probably do
Board
a bit more
games.
writing. You could play a board game, yeah.
Yeah. Well, these were all things that has just been completely flattened now by the smartphone. Loads of these games, board games, activities, all this kind of stuff is now by computer games and smartphones.
Even you can get board games on your phone. You can get
That's right.
Monopoly on your phone.
Exactly.
Uno. I play Uno on my phone.
Do you?
Yeah.
I have done.
What is it like online with other people?
Uno and friends.
How many friends do you have?
At least 6.
Let's go.
Thanks, man.
What do you
It's
think you
enough to
would
play a
do
game.
in a blackout, Stu?
We go off my nap.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I'd read for a bit, but after that, you'd be like, fucking. I don't even like it when the train goes in the tunnel.
Is there anything worse, by the way, than see when you get on the train going westbound from Glasgow Central? You
That
can't
first
get a
bit.
signal from Glasgow Central, Anderston, and then you get to like Exhibition Centre. It comes back. That is
God.
like the worst 2 minutes ever. Also, by the way, I think they've done up Anderston recently because it's quite nice now. But Glasgow Central is like lower level stuff. Fucking
Horrible.
It's horrible, but
it's like 70s.
It's disgusting.
exactly.
yeah.
But I'm like, surely they must be doing it up because they've just done up Anderston. Why the fuck would you do up that bit that's just under a fucking bridge that nobody's about?
Yeah.
And they've got the main one of Glasgow,
Yeah.
and it's just shite.
It's
It's really horrible. Isn't it?
Absolutely disgusting. Gives me the creeps.
I know.
No, it's really hard to know what to do when there's no internet. I can't remember if I spoke about this already, but when we were in Vietnam and we did like an overnight stay on a boat, and it's like you go to pieces, like we're literally playing hide and seek.
And what made me laugh is because I relate to this a lot. Is like whatever you keep trying to open the apps, but whatever's been like the last
and you're
thing,
like, fuck off, that one thing that
the
comes
one
up.
post that you can see that was like had loaded before you lost signal.
Which for me was Ross Kemp meme. Me think me go and take me own life. Yeah, I smashed the coconut open with the hammer that they give you to break the window.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But in my house, I couldn't do that.
No.
Yeah.
Did you ever saying like when obviously we recorded Stu's special the other night?
Yes.
Yes, thank you to people who came.
But you were saying that you and Nick had got the same boat ride or something like that?
Yeah, he was also on the Dragon Legend.
Tell us about that.
Well, it's like they do like so you do like an overnight stay in Halong Bay or Tulong Bay. Steve's been to Halong Bay.
Is this the one that you get done a belter in?
Yep.
Yeah, where you got scammed.
The very one.
So you knew this going in that he was going to.
Yes, I had my wits about me, but did not get mugged.
You didn't get scammed.
Or scammed.
No.
But yeah, we had the same guy, Mr. Milky Man. I was like, I can't believe you know Mr. Milky Man.
He need to explain to me and everyone else what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
The guy that brings you on the boat, cool guy, suit and tie. He's like, I'm Mr. Milky Man, nice to meet you. He's just like a normal geezer, but then he starts doing close-up magic to you when you're at dinner.
Right.
And I volunteered to be the one that was, like, doing the magic too. Because I feel bad for performers and no one was wanting to do it.
Aye.
So I was like,
Good on
I'll
you.
do it.
Were you tricked? Were you
Of course
amazed?
I was. And I was hamming it up as well. You know, I was ramping it up for the guests.
That's
Let's
good.
put a show on here.
Yeah.
He was very good.
He doesn't know he's working with a fellow professional.
Yeah.
I remember like that when I was about a wee guy. There was maybe I was like 15, but someone was doing close-up magic. We were in a restaurant, and you know how that thing where they do a wee trick where they go, "Is this your card?" and then it's not your card, and then the real card's there. So I was like, "Yeah." I just said, "Yeah."
That is so you.
I didn't want to. I was like, "Oh, he's fucked up." I felt bad for him, so I just said, "Yeah." And he was like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "No, because
Fucking this up for me, kid.
your real card's here." And I was like, "Oh, so it is."
That's funny.
So it's just, I feel bad for the guy though, man.
But surely he could have styled that out and been like, yes, hey, I'm great. And then just moved on.
That's what he was supposed to do, but I ruined that for him.
He's briefing
No,
out
but
for the next
I'm
podcast,
saying that
kid.
he could have just. What's the reason he couldn't have just went?
I'd have been like, I'll take it. That's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah,
what I
well,
mean?
that's what I would have
Yeah.
done. But he was annoyed that I'd lied, I think.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to do the wee, that was shite.
'Cause-
In fact, no, it wasn't.
Because if I suppose if he'd went along with that, next thing out of your mouth could have just been, no, isn't he? I'm lying, and so's he. He's a fraud.
You whip his moustache off.
He's not even Milky Man's not even his surname. Was there any explanation as to why he was called Mr. Milky Man?
No, which I think adds to it.
Right.
But he's a very good magician because he would do a card trick to you and then he'd go, I'm a very good magician, yes. So I know that he was very good.
That's funny. That sounds good.
I just can't believe it that Nick had also. I mean, I know it's a big tourist thing, whatever, but like
Aye.
he'd had the same night of fun with Mr. Milky Man.
It's probably like this in the equivalent to like when like people like random American tourists will go to
No Daniel Downey.
Edinburgh and they'll Ross Leslie will have been
Yeah.
their tour guide or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they'll had the same person.
So you had Ross Leslie? Milky Man?
Mr. Milky Man. He's doing close up comedy to them. But no,
So
that's
he's playing Ross Leslie for the listeners. He's a pal of ours, comedian. Also
Yes.
does Edinburgh tour.
I feel
Yeah,
Fife up
if you're
for
ever in Edinburgh, you want to
It's not
tour.
from Fife, but he lives there.
Look him up. I don't know the name of his company.
Good egg comedy.
No,
No, but
For
they
the-
I don't know the name
for
of
the
his
tourist thing.
But
I don't know if I've ever seen a close up magician.
No?
I don't think so.
You've seen Chris Dinwoody.
But he's not close up.
Yeah, he's pretty close.
He's close to the.
yeah, Matt's in the green room though when he's
Aye,
in.
but close up is it's a one-on-one thing. He's doing it to.
Aye, but he does it as well. He does close up as well.
Aye, it would be hard to do a profession that everybody is aware is a trick. I suppose stand-up's probably that, but
Yeah, don't chat too much shit on that front.
But not everybody's aware that stand-up's a trick.
No, and
'Cause
it's not- and
sometimes they think you're saying it for the
and
first
at least
time.
you've got a punchline, and which I suppose is like the reveal of the trick. But it's like, it's not as if like you could learn how to write any joke. Do you know what I mean? There's still an element of your. It's kind of like if you were
Although
making
they
up
do,
the
I
game,
think they do kind of come up with their own
tricks.
don't
Oh, well, that was
Yeah.
that Penn and Teller thing, wasn't it? People would go on with tricks and try and fool Penn and Teller,
Yeah.
isn't it? But I don't know. I think there would be an anxiety at the heart of being a magician that's fueled with basically getting caught out, because effectively somebody just needs to look in your left hand when you're trying to make them look in your right or whatever the fuck, and you're screwed.
Everyone's worried about getting caught out though.
That's true. That tap on the shoulder, right? That's you. Time's up. But no, I don't know.
I've never like gone out my way to see magic.
No, it's always kind of.
You strike me as someone that would go see Darren Brown or something, Steve, or Dynamo.
Me?
Yeah.
Did you not? Did you go and see Peter Powers once? No.
No.
He made him take his shorts off as well.
I've mentioned this in the pod before, but one time me and Roscoe were in the Loft Bar, the artist bar at the Fringe, and Tom Stade walked in and he goes, "Hey, Mark, Roscoe, this is my friend Dynamo." And it was just Dynamo, the magician. It's fucking crazy. And he disappeared like that. No. But have you never been to a magician?
Nah. There's been ones at birthday parties and whatnot. When we were looking for stuff for the wedding, there was a magician at one of these wedding fairs.
I don't love that.
I'm gonna have a magician at my wedding.
I've been to a wedding with a magician before, and it's, they're good at what they do.
What were they doing?
I want them at the altar though.
He's going, I hope the groom doesn't disappear.
But they were like, it's impressive, but it's hard to. I don't show enthusiasm that much anyway, even if I'm impressed. But so it's hard to pretend that you're like amazed that he's doing this thing, and
at
then,
least you laugh at comedy.
yeah,
Whereas you're like, wow.
yeah, and he like literally done this good trick where like fucking opened up my wallet and my card that I'd picked was in it, and I was like, oh, that was good, yeah.
I know, because you know it's coming.
Yeah,
you know something's coming.
You know something that's going to be good.
You do. You're a bit like, how the fuck did you do that? No.
Yeah, but like I'm also not 5, so I'm not like my mind isn't blown. So I was just like, oh, good, that was good.
Seen magic before, buddy.
Yeah, see you later. And then he's not. He wanted more from us, and I felt bad. So
Yeah. Well, you can't be having that. You've got enough to deal with, enough pressure in your wedding. You can't be having to try and keep the morale up of a struggling magician.
Got to have him a plate. Yeah.
It's like, oh, they say it's happy wife, happy life, no happy magician you've hired for the day.
That's such an I think you should leave sketch kind of thing. The guy who's more interested in impressing the magician than his wife.
He's really struggling over there. We're gonna help. Let him do a bit in the speeches. It'd be like, it'd be good to have I suppose it'd be a bit of novelty, but like, what I liked at your wedding was like, it was we mentioned in a recent episode, I think Alex, the piano, and he was taking requests, but it's having somebody coming around on every table and interrupting the chat and all that stuff. It's like, something like that.
Magician that takes requests is good though.
Magician that takes requests.
I want you to catch a bullet in your teeth. So I just do card stuff. Nah,
no, buddy.
There's
Cut your cell in half.
There's a mad Jerry Seinfeld bit he used to have about he once seen a guy do that on telly, catch a bullet in his teeth, and he says, and the worst part was, I don't even remember his name, and he's like, if you would tell that guy that he'd learn how to do that, and the people watching him wouldn't even remember his name, it's like, it's not worth it. That's showbiz, isn't it? It's like, doesn't matter what the fuck you do. Like, that is the most impressive thing ever, and you're like, I can't really remember that guy. What was that guy's name again?
That is not like, that's an illusion, innit? So it's not that impressive.
Catching the bullet in the teeth.
Aye.
Is it?
Well, it has to be.
no, I don't know. Mr. Milky Man can't do that kind of thing anyway.
I'm a good magician, yes.
Like, yeah, if you actually caught a bullet with your teeth, that would be incredible. But it has to be an illusion.
Yeah, of course it is.
Sure.
Of course it is.
Has to be. Jennings is thinking about it.
You think someone just knows how to time that and bite a bullet in a way that stops the momentum of a bullet that's been shot from a gun? I was wrong about the t-shirts, so I mean, don't fucking tweet in or whatever.
Oh, I didn't.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
actually,
it seems implausible.
Yeah, because you can't practice that without
that's
having
suicide
100%.
prevention if you're jumping in front of a bullet and biting it with your teeth.
Yeah, magicians will never use it as a trick. They never do it to save people, do they?
Yeah.
In front of the president.
If only Mr. Milky Man was in front of JFK on the grassy knoll. It'd be right.
Those guys around the car, they're no Secret Service, no magicians.
All got a fez on.
Alright guys, Mark here, just to remind you that I am currently on tour, and this weekend I'll be starting off in the north of England. I will be in Manchester, Liverpool and Leeds all this weekend. Manchester at a place called Grub on Friday the 16th. I'll be at Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool on Saturday the 17th, and then Hyde Park Book Club in Leeds on Sunday the 18th. So if you're in and around those cities, those areas, please do come along. Also, next weekend, I'm doing a Saturday afternoon show on the 24th of May at the Newcastle stand. So if you're in the North East, hopefully catch you around there too. And also, obviously, I've got the dates in June, including the Irish dates in Cork, Belfast, Dublin and Derry, as well as London, which is just sold out, although there's another London date's on sale, and a few extra seats might be added to that London one that's sold out. Also be in Brighton and Birmingham. So hopefully catch you on the tour. Tickets are also available for the Edinburgh Festival for not just myself but also Stuart and Steve's Edinburgh Fringe shows. We'll be back at Monkey Barrel Comedy, so hopefully catch you in August at those. And of course, we cannot forget to mention that we are on Patreon for as little as just £3 a month. Sign up, guys. It's an extra episode every 2 weeks, plus bonus content all from our previous live shows. They're all up there. Some fantastic guests, some fantastic nights in there for you to enjoy, as well as some behind-the-scenes footage, behind-the-scenes documentary from the Fringe, from last year at the Euros in Germany, all that kind of great stuff. And as I say, for as little as £3 a month. That keeps us going, keeps us growing for the podcast, and lets us continue to bring you, hopefully, content that you know and love. So hopefully see you over on the Patreon, guys. See you on tour, and aside from that, enjoy the rest of the episode. So obviously we mentioned we recorded your special the other day, Stu, but recently you also were doing a work in progress through in Edinburgh, and you had a less than ideal set of circumstances to perform in.
I always love seeing you go Graham Norton on this.
Speaking of the stuff, we should have brought
I had a power outage.
Power outage.
That's correct.
I'll tell you what I'd do if I was in Spain. I'd fucking roll my sleeves up and I'd do a shoddy work in progress.
So for people, just to explain, you were doing a show at Monkey Barrel and there was a power outage.
Yes, I'm like in my own world on the train, working, headphones in, come off the train, I've got loads of missed calls, I've got texts, I think, shit, what the fuck's going on here? There's no power. So they're like, do you want to go ahead with the show? I'm like,
and
the show must go on.
Was this the whole street, or was it just Monkey Barrel? Because that street sometimes does.
That street is so cursed that that has happened quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was just Monkey Barrel.
Oh.
But they're like, fuck it, we'll do it in the bar. So I did it just stand in the bar, a cappella, candlelight.
Here's my question: why did they not still just do it in the room? Because there was no light.
Aye.
And there was light in the bar?
Well, there's more light. There's like emergency lights and stuff.
Okay.
And then they had these like weird tiny little lights that were sort of good enough if you're really close to me. I was doing close-up comedy.
Well, it sounds like
you never want to turn up at your venue and see like 40 firemen coming out of the venue.
What's come under the boil?
But then actually, bizarrely, they were not there for the power outage. They were there because there was a gas leak in the Tron next door.
What the hell?
So the whole street was rammed with like Scottish Power and like firefighters. And it was crazy. But this show was pretty good actually. It was quite fun actually, just roaming around the bar with no mic, kind of.
And did you walk around the place?
I mean, not like that, but more than normal. Yeah, yeah. No, it was actually pretty fun. I thought there was a kind of spirit of the Blitz about it.
I bet there would have been.
I'm surprised you didn't just go home, because usually you like to cancel gigs.
To not do a gig.
Yeah.
No, I had to pay my money on the train.
Oh, there's the people that have turned up for it as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if nobody's there.
I had a couple of pals.
That's true.
So see when they turned up, so like, did they just say to the audience, listen, with the power cut, but you can sit here? Were people still able to get drinks and stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe just tennies, I can't remember. But yeah, the vibes didn't sound great through the wall from the green room. Merlin playing songs of his fucking MacBook.
Oh.
Yeah, it just felt like, like you're in somebody's front room or whatever. But the show was good. It was fun. I was mainly just trying not... A guy from my school was in the front row, and I was mainly trying not the whole show... Not to just be like, I was in your house on 9/11. But I managed to restrain myself.
That's what's funny about seeing folk feel like when you grew up as well, because like there could be somebody you've not seen in 15 years and you've got exactly something like that. When this historical event happened, Your dad was.
We were trying to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Exactly. And then it's like you just don't speak to someone and you just go right, and then but you're like, yeah, you were part of a core memory and a formative
lived
experience
through some stuff.
100%.
Have you ever had to do that? I'm trying to think. I think I've maybe done it one other time as well, but the power went while I was on stage.
One time I was at Top Secret, and I think it was the mic cut out, and I had to improvise for a few minutes, or maybe the lights went out as well. I can't remember, but I remember it was quite fun, and it's like suddenly that thing, and cause then you improvise around it, and suddenly everybody's dead impressed. Happened a few times, I think. Like there's something like that's happened, a technical fault, and I always think
the
it's
mic
quite,
just cutting out happens.
Sometimes it's quite the mic cuts out, and sometimes that's quite fun, and then you can fuck a bit around it, and then you can sort of like ask the people at the back if they fixed it, whatever, and no, it can be quite fun sometimes when that occurs, but obviously no ideal when it's like you need to move where the fuck you're performing or whatever.
Yeah,
I just kept trying to tell them like when a bit sort of is a bit subpar, just try and edit on lights and stage and amplification. I can't do it all.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pretend this is a show.
Often at the Fringe, it seems to be happening a lot more, is that people will need to like stop their show halfway through and then go out and finish it in the street or something.
People always do that.
Lauren Patterson had to do that.
I don't think I'd do it in the street.
There was one time actually, I'm sure it was the Adam Smith Theatre in Kirkcaldy, but we were like meant to be doing like the small room or something.
Cafe.
But I can't even remember at what point this happened, but I remember being outside and it's Seymour Mace, who's a Newcastle-based comic, and he was finishing the gig. I was maybe hosting it or something, and then but by the time he was on, I don't remember if it was a fire alarm or why the fuck it happened, but I remember the audience being outside and Seymour finishing. But he's quite a kind of alternative act anyway, so he would thrive in that environment.
The chaos of it.
Yeah. So,
I feel like if you had like a big reviewer in during that time and you finished the show, you'd get like a 5-star just for doing it.
Well, one time, I think the last time I seen this happen, it was last year or something, and I don't know, I can't even really remember who the performer was, but they were outside kind of the Tron, and I seen a group of people standing, including Steve Bennett, the chocolate reviewer.
It was Ross Leslie doing a tour.
But I might like that be odds law though. Like, see if you had a big, it was like an important one, or you had somebody in reviewing or somebody in watching you. If they
would respect it though if you finished it and it was like a good show, then you get a 5-star.
But do you feel though if you didn't have somebody like that, you would just go, right, well that's it.
Depends how long I've done. Check the watch. You've been great.
5 minutes to go. You're like, I'll finish the story.
Yeah,
but
also if you're like not having a good one,
you'd be relieved.
You need to have at least a 7 out of 10 to take outside.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not taking you lot outside
because you like, you don't want walkaways. I think would be worse than walkouts.
Yeah,
if you're in the room, people walk out. That's one thing. If you're outside and people just start trailing off.
Or people join in the crowd and you're giving them free comedy.
You're doing the EICC or whatever. Bucket 10,000 people.
I don't. That's how I don't envy street performers and all that you see, obviously at the Fringe and just in town and stuff now and again.
Yeah.
Because see that whole thing of having to get a crowd together. That's probably one of the first things. See when you first ever got like Glasgow City Centre or whatever for the first time, and you see those guys on Buchanan Street or whatever, and like it just draws you in, like. What's this? You've never seen it before. And like it's just like so many, it's just like wee guys and lassies probably.
And then at the end they ask you for a tenner and you're like, what the fuck off?
Fuck off.
Paying a tenner for a guy juggling swords. Shut up.
Exactly.
Like the first time I ever went to the Edinburgh Fringe, I thought that's just what it was, just street performance.
You just kind of go up the Royal Mile, don't you? Don't know any better.
I didn't know there was things happening in venues.
Yeah, you wouldn't think to go in.
So I went and seen some great jugglers that year. Let me tell you.
Booked a guy for your wedding.
Some of the best jugglers I've ever seen.
But I do feel like, because people in these talk about, stand up, not like, don't know how you get up there and do it, but we are protected by a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Having the microphone, the lights, everybody facing you. Like, see when it's the setups of comedy clubs, it's really, like, it's really handy for that, and so suddenly like your nose just bows out, but it's like obviously when you're having to do it more stripped down when you're in the pub or whatever, like it'd be a lot harder. And I think street performing is like number one. Like everything, you've got all the elements against you, and to go and do it, that's like would take a level of.
I could not in a million years do that.
I wouldn't want to do
Fair
that.
play.
Every street performer though is just the same patter over and over.
I know, but it kind of
not-
it's sort of like doing like comparing for stags and hens. It's like just survival. Innit?
Aye, you have to just do the same.
It's the fucking roughest environment going. You just need to do whatever works to get through.
Yeah, but that takes some of the impressiveness out of them juggling chainsaws if they're just
With the,
doing some hack joke that I've already
Catch
heard.
it in your teeth.
Then we'll talk.
aye, but you're like, but the when you're out there and it's like family shopping and all that kind of stuff. This isn't the
That's
hype
a
alloy.
tough gig.
That's a tough gig. You know what I mean? They,
Tough gig,
these,
sure.
Some of these people have never heard these jokes before.
But they're there for the chainsaws. They're not there for the part.
You're reviewing it, are you?
Yeah.
You know,
Steve Bennett up the back with
done before. It's been done before. Like
hack.
you don't need a fucking Stuart Lee of fucking street performance. you know what I
Listen, if we had that, that's what this country needs.
Does nothing with a chainsaw for 40 minutes. Revs it over and over again.
But I feel I've got a respect for them. I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. I think it's
Me too.
it takes a different sort of thing to get into. It's more
That's a proper alternative lifestyle, that.
it is. It's more
Unless you're
adjacent
a
to the
human.
carnies, I would say.
Unless you're a human stature, do you have respect for those guys?
No.
I couldn't do it.
Although I cannot sit still.
Well, that's it. He couldn't fucking last 15 minutes with his phone the day.
The amount of
You're
books I can write.
The first human statue that's just scrolling on his phone.
There's a book for you, The Human Statue.
I could write loads
that
of
was another thing I was impressed by the first time I would go to town. It was like I would see the guy with and his tie would be in there. Or whatever.
Aye. That
The hats.
That's fucking. I would say
The first time you see that shit is mad, isn't it?
Aye, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
You forget when you just breeze past with your AirPods in.
aye, like when you work in town, you walk by the cunt every
Yeah.
day. But that's tough. I remember the one. I don't know if it's still there, but the one I always just thought this is like such a like, no pointless, but just like you could be doing like a stick could do this job. But you know how outside the Apple store,
Golf style.
outside the Apple store,
Yeah,
there used to be
they've
a guy
got
that stood
cheaper.
there saying there's a cheaper one. And I have been to that shop and it is good, by the way.
Mm.
They've often would do that thing where, you know how like when there was dust in your iPhone, like your ear,
Yeah.
they
Scrape
would
it
scrape
out.
it out. They'd do that for free for me a lot.
Well,
Sure.
Why
you
can you not just scrape out your
do
own?
Because I
yourself.
didn't know that was a problem.
All right.
But then you go back after and they do it again.
Aye,
This guy can't take fluff at his own face.
yeah. But no, I have subsequently done it since. But at the time, maybe I didn't.
I use
know
the back
they
of
were
an
being-
earring.
Yeah, well, the first time that ever happened, that was like a magic trick to me.
Yeah, that is
First time
embarrassing. The
that-
first time you learn that your phone's full of fluff.
Aye. It's like your belly button.
Yeah.
Because that sometimes, like when I'm recording gigs and I've got my wee clip-in mic thing, I put it in, and the amount of times that would fuck up on my old phone, and then it just was causing all the fluff in there. But I was just thinking it was a fucked up connection or whatever, or it wouldn't charge properly, or that kind of shit.
They should have.
It is. They just need to crack this. It's funny that like phones are
yeah.
like £1,200 now, whatever, and they're
bit of
destabilized by a bit of fluff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense because it's still plug. It's not as if it doesn't plug in. It's just, I guess, it's just an accumulation of stuff.
But those guys could have made a killing. See if they kept that a secret.
Yeah.
See if they kept that a secret. That's all they're doing back there. Because
Aye.
you go, oh my god, how did you fix that?
20 quid.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I would have paid it
Aye,
to fix it.
but there's probably some dodgy people out there that have charged people.
I
for
bet
that.
you there's people listening to this who have been charged to clear out their.
Aye,
You
Their
think that's our
iPhone.
audience, is it?
No, I just think that it's probably I think it's commonplace practice.
yeah.
People would do it, and all these wee dodgy phone repair shops, a lot of them would charge you for that.
Open
I've
up a phone
offered to
kiosk.
pay-
We only do fluff. That's all we do.
I think I've offered to pay them before because I was so delighted about it, and they're like, "No,
Don't
like,
worry.
just come
It's on the
come to us
house.
with your business next time." I've never done that. But that guy used to stand with a sign,
Aye.
and I just thought like they could literally just tie this to a lamppost or something.
It must be
Yeah.
illegal or it'd be removed. Otherwise, you would do that, wouldn't you?
Aye.
Yeah.
Must
But
be a law
that's
thing.
pretty. So your job is just literally to stand there with a sign.
He's a human lamppost.
That's tough.
He
that.
can move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Fair play.
I
to
want to
him.
read his book.
You were talking about AI and comedy. Do you want
Mm.
to move on to that?
There was a story about that the other day, wasn't there?
Well, if there was, I don't know if I
Let me
read
get
it.
it. Well,
But
we
we're just
go on
chatting
now.
about it in the house was all. I've not really got anything to say, but it felt like
something that we should have an
Felt
opinion
like
on.
fodder, didn't it? Felt like pod fodder.
People must know our thoughts on AI and comedy.
This isn't street performing, but I was in Edinburgh the other day and I did a double take. I passed one of those tat shops on Princess Street and I was like, what was that? And they were playing, you know how they play shitey bagpipe versions of songs? It was Morning Glory by Oasis. And I was like, I've never heard that in bagpipe form. They must have, when they booked Murrayfield, they were like, right, let's get the first couple of albums down on.
That's all you're going to be hearing this August is
Yeah.
bagpipe versions of
Couldn't
the
believe it.
entirety of Definitely Maybe. And
Champagne
what's the story?
Supernova.
Do you think anyone's so far gone they'll do a bagpipe version of like Heathen Chemistry?
No, I don't think so. Well, there was Oasis like sent us an email the other week, and it was like, I think it was like to win 2-3 tickets or something. It was like, and it, you had to, because no, I remember when.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at you thinking Oasis sent you an email. It's like
Did I?
the Snow Leopard writes to me.
No,
You know?
so
the brothers, they wrote me an email, but because you know how when they first released tickets, like there was a thing like you had to answer a questionnaire, like it was a question you had to get right. What's the name of the drummer or whatever the fuck it was, and but in it they were asking you what's your favourite album, and I'm like, who's put?
there you go,
Let's choose
obscure.
one of the
Don't
shite
believe
ones.
the truth and all this kind of shit. Nobody's doing that. But then it's like maybe you get marked down if you just put the first two. I don't know.
Well, I don't know
like
if that's
the-
your favourite.
I like Be Here Now, to be honest. But right, I've got it up here in the aforementioned chortle.co.uk. Edinburgh
Friends
Fringe.
of the show.
Yes. Well, whatever.
Neutral.
Yes, we won't say anything. Either way, but
You'll gladly call out the list, but you won't call out chart.
Too fierce.
I think on that episode I was actually praising Steve Bennett for sure.
Fuck's sake.
I've also quashed my beef with the list. Well, I've not quashed my, but I did do a Q&A for them. Although I know they're going to come and review me this Fringe, and I'm going to get a bad review. There's no way that's not happening.
Just
right?
refuse to let them in.
But I'm going.
I can lean on the fire alarm if you want to stop the show.
Right, okay. Chortle.co.uk. Edinburgh Fringe partners with AI
I
giant.
did see this.
Just days after MPs heard how the tech was a threat to to comedy, the Edinburgh Fringe has signed a sponsorship deal with an AI company just days after MPs heard how the technology was an existential threat to the comedy industry. Research company Anthropic have been named as the official education partner of this year's festival, following a similar agreement last year. There you go. And
But it's not like they're doing anything AI. It's an AI company that work in education or whatever in there.
Well, they've got the team behind an AI software called Claude, which, like all large language models, which is what they're called, is trained by analysing large amounts of data, blah, blah, blah. Okay, interesting. Well, I mean, I guess we're fucked when it can start writing jokes properly and coming up with its own things. But it's like,
Do you think if I typed in, like, write a bit in the style of Mark Jennings,
but would they know who I am?
it would? Because it would just collate all the stuff
No,
on
because it's
from-
before a certain point, though, isn't it?
Yeah, go and try it now if you want. Well, weirdly though,
I could do it.
see the Grok thing
you
on
could write a
Twitter.
bit.
Yeah.
You could write it. Well, you have done it.
Yeah.
See the Grok thing on Twitter. That like
What is that?
it's basically OpenAI, I think, but it's like just in Twitter.
Why? What'd you do?
It's just like you can type it, but there's one in it like it had a prompt saying roast me, and then just like looks all your tweets and then collates like
Right.
everything to roast you. But it's I mean, given that it's just nascent, there could be a chance that, you know, in the not too distant future, a lot of creative stuff is done by AI. I'm sure I think films and all that kind of stuff are going, and music definitely is going to be a bit more at risk for it. Comedy might be the last one. What's happened, Stevie?
So I said, write a joke in the style of
done
Mark
it.
Jennings about pasta. Sure, here's a joke in the style of Mark Jennings. Dry,
No, the kind of thing you would normally do, to be fair.
dry,
Unless he's
observational,
shagging this pasta.
and with this distinct Scottish edge, so it knows about you.
Yeah, it's Eddie.
I tried to impress a date by making
There you go, bang on.
by making fresh pasta from scratch. Took me 4 hours, flour everywhere, emotional breakdown halfway through. She took one bite and said, "It's a bit al dente." A bit al dente? It's the first time I've cooked something that doubled as a building material.
No, that's not what his angle would be.
Al dente.
Hard.
See, he doesn't even know what al dente
Yeah, I
is.
don't know what that means.
Would you like another in a different style or topic?
Do it in the style of Stephen Buchanan. Brackets not the paedophile. That's weird. I didn't
The
know
fact
they could
that
do
it
that.
chose a date was bang on.
Yeah.
Style of Stephen.
But then they probably just assume all stand-up comics talk about dating.
No, because it knew you were. Oh, so here's a pasta joke in the style of Stephen Buchanan: more self-deprecating, awkward charm, and softly delivered.
What is this on?
ChatGPT.
Who doesn't know this?
And then I'll
Delete this whole section.
Because I'm going to write my friend show in a second.
I tried to cook pasta to save money, but I didn't know how much to make, so I just poured the whole bag in. Now I've got spaghetti in every Tupperware, every drawer. Found a strand in my sock this morning. At this point, I'm less man, more carbonara.
That's terrible.
No, we're safe for now, because if ChatGPT was really powerful enough, what would have happened when you try to cook the pasta is you'd have burned the place down and had to phone the fire brigade.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll do one
If
final
that doesn't
one.
end with what's come under the boil, then well, I think we're still in a job for the time being.
One final one in the style of Stuart McPherson.
I don't know who I am.
Interesting.
But,
A one-liner,
the
perhaps.
style of Stuart McPherson.
Well, I'm with.
See if it can use it as a sort of spine to a friend show.
Yeah. Can you structure it?
Of course, here's a pasta joke in the style of Stuart McPherson. Deadpan, understated, and a bit surreal.
Wow.
I made pasta last night. It said it cooks in 10 minutes. I checked at 9 minutes. It was too hard. Checked at 11. It was too soft. So I've narrowed down the perfect time to somewhere in the quantum realm.
I'm not that surreal.
Good
So it'd
stuff.
just be you should have just done it for 10 minutes, like it said.
That's one of the problems with that bit.
Yeah.
There you
Not
go.
one of my better bits.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say
I would
that.
think
have
our
expected
jobs are
more
safe.
from you.
Jobs
Yeah,
are
I
safe.
think
Jobs are
we're
safe
all
right
right
now.
for the time being, but that is scary. How
I didn't think it would know any of us.
no, I
is the
didn't.
thing.
I didn't know. I think they'd be the
Have
updates.
they updated it?
It's maybe.
It can just Google who you are and then it'll
I
go.
guess it just knows that we're Scottish comics, or it'll take like phrases from
fair
reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
There you go. It's large language model. Someone's training a large language model to read all the Chortle reviews ever.
It's just all misspelled.
Yes, the thing that's going to save us is Steve Bennett not fucking proofreading his shit.
Steve Bennett, who wouldn't he pass one of those "I am not a robot" tests?
Oh,
Please
well,
come to my friend show, Steve. Hope you enjoy
Yeah,
it.
no,
Please
absolutely.
don't.
Give me
come to
4.
mine.
Don't be tight. 3.5 is no use. You can't put that on a poster.
You can't.
Put that in that post.
What's the point?
Don't be tight, man.
You could round up. Do you think anyone's people must have rounded up before?
People have done everything.
People done everything. Nobody's
You
checked.
could just lie, couldn't
You
you?
could just lie, put
Why
5
would not
stars
just lie?
everywhere.
Yeah.
100%.
I think Rhys James said that he'd put a 2-star next to a 3-star really close.
Yeah, I think it was Sheeps did that one year, and it was like ones next to 4s, and like just the way they formatted it looked like loads of 5s.
That's really good. I'm a big fan of that. But I don't know. It's but like there's loads of jobs. I think are going to. It might.
It's
end
time
up-
for a universal basic income.
I think so. I think we might have no other option to do that
Let's have it.
unless everyone's fucking just becomes pure poor. Basically, I don't know. I'm scared.
It
Scary.
probably will be that one, won't it? It
Probably that
tends
one.
to be what happens.
Yeah, well, there'll be some sort of civil unrest for a while. I don't know, but it does seem like the nature of maybe working on it's going to change. But then basically everybody's just going to be living the life of a comedian. If you just get money given to you and then you just doss about all day, except for having to go
Yeah,
and
I
do
like
gigs at
going
night
to
and-
places when they're empty. I don't want all
Yeah,
these people
no.
around.
It's instead of the only difference is they're not going to have to go and do gigs at night and never have a life. But but I dossing about during the day and going to a coffee shop. If everybody's doing that, fucking
I'm
Yeah.
actually not doing that at the minute, and I miss it.
no, none of mine to be
Yeah.
fair. But
Don't drink coffee.
right enough. There you go. Well,
Where do you go when you just need to be out the house?
Just in the house. Just in the house.
Fair enough. No
how
further
often
questions.
do you leave the house and like when you're no working and stuff like that? Will you? Have you got a local cafe or anything near you that you like to go to or anything like that?
No.
So what do you just do? You get shopping in and then you stay in the house,
I could go a walk. Go a wee walk.
right?
Or go to the gym. But if I need to, what do you mean if I need to, right?
If you just
You know, things are
would,
tense with
would-
Catherine.
would you know? Oh, okay.
No, we never let it get to that stage. We
Oh,
talk about our
that's nice.
feelings.
That's great.
I've never had to. I've been threatened with sleep on the couch before, but I've never actually
Really?
had to.
Is this post or pre-wedding?
What had you done?
I think we were just bickering, and it was like, oh, well, if you could carry on with that, you're sleeping on the couch.
That's great.
There's a wee bit,
Yeah, that's funny.
That must be a low moment in a relationship.
I offered to sleep on the couch the other night because she's not been sleeping.
Aye.
Well, and I'm just sitting next to her snoring, having the fucking best night's sleep you've ever seen in your
But
life.
that's not like, that's a different, that's you being the good boyfriend. That's not you being put there like a fucking
I've never
dog.
been. No, I've never been.
I actually did have to
doghoused. Spiritually, I've been in the doghouse, but not literally.
Yeah, I had to sleep on the couch when I had COVID.
Yeah. Well, again, that's.
But that was for health reasons.
Again, yeah, it's not. You've been.
But I felt like I should have got the bedroom in that scenario because I'm the sick one.
Yeah, come on.
That's crazy. I was made to sleep in the fucking uncomfortable couch.
You didn't make that argument at the time, did you?
No, that's.
Well, I did.
Sitting raging on the couch.
But the PlayStation's in the living room, so I got that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I quite fancy sleeping in the front room. Fun.
Yeah, all the fun.
I know, man. Well, actually, to be honest,
Me and the dog sleep over.
What I was saying about my bedroom, but my bed being too small, but the couches are quite, get some recliners and they're quite comfortable, so I probably wouldn't mind.
After a couple of days, though, it takes its toll.
I know. Well, how long am I in this doghouse for? With this fictional relationship I've got?
COVID was about 7 days.
God, I know.
Just because you made the pasta bad, you're on the fucking couch.
Al dente.
Well.
That would be the funny challenge thing would be like it writes you a new 5 and you've just got to do it.
You've got to do
not
it.
mentioning that you didn't write it. It's
just
so shite you would never get away with it.
No,
could do it at the next Some Laughing Friends.
I do wonder though do you think people are using it a lot now for creative stuff? Because to me it just seems, I don't know, there's something a bit
I think
soulless about it.
it's maybe like for the admin side of it, like Liam was saying you can do
Website
it
copy
to,
and stuff, all that kind of stuff.
and Liam Wifnell was saying that you can do it for like formatting a script, which
Would you do it for an organisational thing? Like say if you'd written out your Fringe show and you went put this into a structure or something like that, would you?
I think that's cheating as well.
I think it's cheating as well.
Yeah.
No, it's.
I think it should be pen and a notepad and don't even get the computer involved.
Don't have that wee cursor clicking.
No, I don't want to see Clippy. That guy fucks me off.
Is he still about, that clip guy? I've not seen him in a long time.
No.
The Microsoft Word clip guy.
I don't use Microsoft, so I don't know.
What do you use?
We're a Pages
MacBook.
girlies.
Pages, yeah.
Oh, really?
Everyone loves getting a Pages file that I've sent to them by accident.
Yeah, fucking raging.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
I think that covers us for this week's episode, guys. Before we go, we should, of course, plug the Patreon, which we're on. You can get an extra episode every 2 weeks, and plus bonus content, all the live shows and what have you. And we're on. I'm still on.
You're
tour.
on tour. Go see Mark.
Go and see me this week. I am in Manchester, Liverpool, and Leeds this weekend. So Manchester Friday, Liverpool Saturday, Leeds Sunday. Come
It's
and
a
see me
power
there.
weekend. That
It's good. It's good. On the in and around the same area. Looking forward to doing the shows there. I'm in Manchester about Grub, which I've never been before. Looking forward to Liverpool at Hot Water and Leeds at the Hyde Park Book Club, which I've heard very nice things about. So
Nice.
obviously it's
Lovely.
there. And then after that, I'm in Newcastle the following weekend, and the Saturday afternoon. Tickets are looking good for that. And then Ireland and in the south of England, Birmingham, Brighton, and London for me.
lovely.
And of course, we've all got Fringe tickets on sale now as
Yep.
well.
Yeah.
Edinburgh Festival.
Please get them. I'm going to do a bunch of previews, a lot of them in Edinburgh and Glasgow, but I'm going to be in Manchester on I think the 7th of June and London on I think the 8th. Could be 8th and 9th. I never know the details properly.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the Bill Murray in London and with a lovely time in Manchester, so please come to that.
Beautiful.
If you're in
Yeah.
those areas.
Yeah.
With
You
my
get
new show.
Yes, you get some previews as well, Stevie.
I've got a few previews, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Stirling, that kind of shit. And just come to the Fringe.
And if you see us talking about pasta, you know we're struggling.
Absolutely. And thanks to everybody. At the time of recording, I've just done my Edinburgh tour show last night. It was the first one I run. That was really fun. So thanks to everybody who came out. And thanks to everybody who came out to
Yeah.
Stu's special.
Yeah, it was a good
fun.
laugh on it. And thank you to you boys for opening up for me.
Anytime.
I'll get you back for a 15 next year.
Great. Well,
It's
listen,
about
guys.
cash next.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.